Hello and welcome to the Siam Center Law Group podcast. Today we will help you understand the legal aspects of carrying firearms legally by explaining the relevant laws and providing practical advice on how to comply with them and avoid legal violations. Relevant laws on carrying firearms. When it comes to carrying firearms in Thailand, there are several regulations that gun owners must follow. The key laws involved are the Criminal Code, Section 371, and the Firearms Act, Firearms, Ammunition, Explosives, and Fireworks Act. Criminal Code, Section 371. This law states that carrying any kind of weapon in public places is prohibited unless there is a justifiable reason, such as taking it for repairs, training, or other urgent needs. Firearms Act, Section 8 bis. This law prohibits carrying firearms in public places unless there is a necessity or urgency, such as carrying it for self-defense in a high-risk situation. Importantly, it also states that firearms should not be carried in a visible manner. Types of carrying firearms. Carrying firearms can be categorized into two types: carrying on your person and non-carrying. Carrying on your person. According to the Firearms Act, carrying a firearm on your person means that the weapon is in a position where it can be immediately used, such as carrying it at your waist or in a concealed pocket. While the Criminal Code, Section 371, does not require the firearm to be on your person in a position ready for use, carrying a firearm in a public place without a valid reason is still a violation. Reasons for carrying a firearm. Carrying a firearm should always be for justifiable or necessary reasons, as specified by law. Justifiable reasons. This includes actions like carrying a firearm for repair or training, which is legally acceptable. Necessity and urgency. This includes carrying a firearm for self-defense in areas at high risk of attack. In such cases, the firearm should not be carried openly, but should be concealed to avoid drawing attention. 3 principles for carrying firearms. Legally, if you must carry a firearm for safety reasons or other legal purposes, it's important to follow these 3 principles. Don't carry a firearm habitually. Avoid carrying a firearm in public unless it's absolutely necessary. Store the firearm separately. Remove the magazine from the firearm and store it in a separate place, such as a box or the trunk of your car, to reduce the likelihood of using it immediately. Conceal the firearm. If there is a legitimate reason to carry the firearm, ensure it is not carried in an openly visible manner. It should be kept in a concealed position to avoid being seen by others. Summary: carrying a firearm in Thailand must be done in strict compliance with the law. The key aspects to keep in mind are that carrying a firearm in public must be for a valid reason, and the firearm should not be visible to the public. Following these rules will reduce the risk of legal violations and penalties. Thank you for listening to this episode of Siam Center Law Group's podcast. If you have any further questions about the law or would like to clarify any doubts, feel free to reach out and send us your questions. Stay safe and always follow the law. Goodbye.